Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us with Tech Bites. Today we are going to have Amber Richmond joining us as our presenter. Amber Richmond has joined us at the Southwest REC here in July, so a brand new person to our staff. She joined us as an instructional specialist. She's been an educator for 13 years. After graduating from NMSU in 2009, she taught Title I reading intervention at Red Mountain Middle School for 5 years. In 2014, she received her master's degree in educational leadership from Concordia University. At this time, she began teaching a 6th grade technology elective at Deming Intermediate School and obtained her technology endorsement. She became certified to teach Project Lead the Way courses and continued to grow as a leader in her school. She provided staff trainings and helped her staff adapt to virtual teaching. During her teaching career, she taught regular education, summer school at a variety of levels, and intervention classes. She also worked with JPO office to teach reading intervention for students K through 12. She currently holds a BA in elementary education with a focus in language arts, an MA in educational leadership, and a technology endorsement. So today she's going to teach us all about adding some swag to our presentations with Microsoft SWREC. And so with that, I'm going to turn this over to Amber Richmond.
Thank you for that introduction, Christine. Appreciate it. So I want to start off by introducing SWREC. SWREC is a really cool way to spicing up your presentations. I like that word you use, add swag. So before I get started introducing SWREC, I would like to first show you a little video of SWREC in motion and how it might look in the classroom.
The way that I would see success in using technology in schools goes beyond just using the technology. We've been in small bits trying to push out Office apps to students to be able to use. And it was a post online that I had seen that said, check out this new software. And it was SWREC.
A new, exciting, dynamic way to present information.
You hear this little murmur in the background, like, I've never seen that. What is it? He's just sliding through. There's a video built in. And so there were a lot of just nuances to it that made it really exciting to share with others.
It's a really powerful tool for synthesizing or comparing ideas because students have so much flexibility in the layout.
It gives them a chance to individualize their thoughts and yet follow a curriculum base.
We've used SWREC for business. We've used SWREC for English comp finals. In fact, we have a group of seniors, one group of seniors today that are delivering their thesis in SWREC.
Pretty much whenever I have an opportunity to use SWREC for a presentation within class, I would definitely use SWREC because it's my go-to. Just because it's so much easier to use than many other presentation softwares, and because you can get things done so much quicker.
I'm able to put together a presentation in maybe 30 minutes or an hour, so I can really focus on my delivery rather than what people will be looking at on the screen, because I know SWREC's got it covered.
That's the type of comment that we want to hear from students, because then they're focusing more on content and they're learning that content because they're spending less time on the design. Having students share or collaborate on a SWREC is so easy. We have shown it to students who have never used it before, and in minutes they're sharing with their peers and working together on the same active document.
Well, I love that it's cloud-based, so I can access it from anywhere. I can pull it up on my phone, from another computer. If my phone dies, I can use someone else's phone, someone else's computer.
As we move towards one-to-one technology for our student population, SWREC seems to provide that opportunity to stretch their thinking, to use some, and feel like it will give them an edge as they move into a college or university.
So as you can see, SWREC has a lot of variety to it and lots of different ways you can use it in the classroom, whether students are using it or teachers are using it. So let's get into this a little bit. Microsoft SWREC is a way to present information. It allows you to use a variety of media. It organizes information in a visually stunning way. Students can show you what they know, and I'm going to give you a quick example of SWREC. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link to this in the chat. Get that link really quick. So I'm going to give you a link to all of my resources here in the chat, and those are also in the schedule on the website. So if you want to click on that, it should take you to all of these, and you can just double click on them. So the example that from the PowerPoint is this first link here. So this is a SWREC on habitats, and you can see the students can just scroll down. They can see pictures, see what a desert habitat looks like, get information about that. There's built-in videos. Here's one about Arctic habitats, and then you can see the vocabulary. I could click on that and it'll show me the definitions. Sea habitat, more videos, and then if we get to come down here, we have pictures of animals in their habitat and questions, making it interactive. And then we have a little game to see if they learned what they were supposed to at the end. Okay. So first off, let me show you how to open SWREC. There are 3 ways to open SWREC. The first way is to go to www.office.com. You can then log in with your Office 365 credentials, and you can also go to your email to get to the apps as well, or you can open Office. So I'm going to show you those 3 ways. So the first way is through if you have an Office 365 email, you can come up here to apps. You can click all apps, and then you can come down here to the S's and there's SWREC. You can also go to office.com and log in with your credentials. Come down here where it says apps. And if you don't see SWREC here, you can click add apps and you can search for it in the bar at the top and it will pop up. And the third way is to use your Office app. And again, it's the same process. You click here. The first time you'll open it, you'll need to search for it and just type SWREC and it'll pop up. It's also right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open SWREC and I'm going to show you around a little bit. So when you first click on SWREC, you're going to be taken to this screen, which is kind of limited. So I actually like to click New Blank SWREC. And then from here, it takes you into SWREC. So I can actually go back here and click on SWREC, and that's going to take me back to this main home area. Okay, so I want to show you in the link, there is a link to in the link that I put, there's a link to a PDF version of the presentation. And if I go too fast or too slow, you can access that. And it has step-by-step instructions of everything I'm going to go through with pictures. So you can access that. And then when you're doing it on your own, if you forget any steps, there are pictures there for you to follow along. Okay, so going back to SWREC, when you are making a new SWREC, there are 3 options. So you can create a new blank SWREC. You can start from a topic, and this one will do an internet search for you and put together some information to get you started. And this is if you want to start from a worksheet. So I'm going to show you this one first, start from a document. Let's say I have put together a worksheet for students and I have it in Microsoft Word. So I have pictures, some information, and I want to turn this into a SWREC. And actually, I just copy pasted from an article online to get this. So if I had this, I could tell it to start from my documents. And here's my Word doc. So I just click on that and it's automatically going to turn that Word document into a presentation for me. So it puts all of it in and I just hit play and it's all here, already done. I can go down, see that information. I can always go back and add stuff and make it cooler if I wanted to. Okay, the next way is to start from a topic. So you can click here, and this is actually powered by Wikipedia. So you can type in your subjects. So let's say I wanted ancient China. That's what I'm teaching about. And I can push create outline, and it's going to do a quick, it's going to ask me, do I mean one of these? So yes, I want China. And then I want to create an outline of China. And so it puts in all the information, and then I can go back and add pictures and things and edit, modify it. So it gives you basic how to get started. And I'm gonna check the chat really quick because I see, oh, unable to open the SharePoint. That is okay. I can get you that link a different way.
I gave that to her at the sway.com.
Okay, that'll work. Awesome. So for now, I'm going to show you how to create a new blank sway from scratch. So I'll just go ahead and click Create New. Okay, so it looks like everyone is in. All right, so I'm on a new blank sway. And again, to get here, if you got lost, because I did go kind of fast, but you can just simply go to your office, go to Sway and click New Blank Sway, and you'll be right where I'm at. Okay, so we're gonna start off by adding a title to our sway. So on this sway, I'm just gonna make it all about me so my students can get to know me. If you have a topic coming up soon, you may want to make it about that topic. Give yourself a head start while you're going through this with me. But go ahead and take a second, get a new sway and write all about me. And give me a thumbs up when you are ready to go on. Awesome. Daniel's ready. And again, if you guys have questions afterward, I'm gonna give you my email, and you feel free to email me that link, or sorry, email me any questions that you may have, and I can get on and help you out with that. Trying to get April in here. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on. So after you put your title, now we're ready to go in and add some pictures. So the next thing I want to put on my sway is some pictures showing the students my favorite foods. So to do that, I'm going to click the little plus here. And when you click the plus, you have three options to choose from. So you have text, you have media, which allows you to do images, audio, embedding things or uploading things, and you have group. So group is how you can stack things or format your pictures. And then you have suggested. So suggested is everything that I pick frequently. So go ahead and go to text and choose heading 1. And this is going to create a section here for you to insert things. So we want to do a new section every time we switch our train of thought. And so for this, it's going to be my favorite foods. So I'm not going to put a picture here because I am going to add images under this. So after you add a title to your header, go ahead and click the plus. And this time we're going to click media and we're going to add an image. So you're going to notice that that image goes into that same header. And so that tells it that that title is connected to my image here. Okay, so right here, I'm going to go ahead and I can drag images here, or I can come over here where it says suggested, and I can actually type in the search bar right here, pictures that I want. So I love coffee, so I'm going to type coffee. And it's going to bring up images of coffee. If I want only non-copyright Creative Commons pictures, make sure this is checked. You can also uncheck it if you want maybe some images that might have copyright, but for this, I'm going to use Creative Commons only, and that will give me a picture that is safe to use in my presentation. So I added a picture of coffee. So go ahead and take a minute to add your second picture. You're going to click the plus, choose image again, and then you can just search for another picture. So take a minute and add 3 pictures of your favorite food, and let me know if you need any help with that. Those look good, don't they?
It's that time of the day when I'm hungry.
For sure. Food. Okay. So here are 3 pictures that I have added. When you are done with a section and ready to go on to your next topic, you can click this little upside down arrow to collapse it. And if you ever need to edit it again, you can just expand it again. This will help you save space and keep everything organized. Okay, so before I add the next part, I kind of want to give you an overview of what these tools up here do. So storyline is your editing screen. We'll go over design a little bit later, but that's how you change the way your sway looks. Over here is if you want to search your sway for some content. If you have a lot, it'll take you to that section where you talked about that topic. Over here, we have where it says suggested, and you have already figured out that that's where you can search for images. You can also click video and you can search for videos there as well. If you click all, it kind of does videos and pictures. You can also click your suggested dropdown right here, and you can search your OneDrive. You can add things from your OneDrive. You can add things from Flickr, Bing, Picket. You can add YouTube videos, or you can upload pictures, videos, files from your device. Okay, over here is the undo arrow. If you mess up, you can always click undo. And then this is also to insert. That makes that come and go. Okay, so that's basic overview. Up here on the bar, this is going to be all your apps again. This is going to take you back to the Sway homepage. This button is to preview over here on the right. And then this is your share options and all of your settings and things that you can do with it in the 3 dots. Okay, so now that we have some information into our sway, let's go ahead and hit play up in the top right so we can see how that's going to look. It will default make it into whatever design it feels like making it into, but we can always edit that. So if I look at this, I decide I don't like it, I can click edit and it's going to take me back to this screen. So again, play to preview, edit to take you back to this screen. Okay, so if I want to change the way that looks, I can come up here to the top left and I'm going to click design. So you're going to see that preview screen again, but now you have another option up here in the top right called styles. So I'm going to go ahead and click on styles. This one right here is my favorite. It's called remix. So if I don't know what I want and I just want to see what it looks like in different ways, I can click the remix button and it's going to change the way it looks and I can preview it. If I don't like it, I can click it again and I can keep doing that until I find one that I like. You can also be more specific. So you can decide, do I want it to look like a slideshow where they have to click the over arrow? Do I want it to look horizontal where it goes side to side, or do I want it to be vertical where it goes up and down? From there, down here are color schemes. So I say I want pink, I can change it to pink. If I want a background image, I can choose a textured background image. If I want to choose specific fonts, I can click customize And I can come over here and choose different color palettes. I can change the fonts. I can even choose how it animates things, and we'll look at that later. And you can choose how big or small you want your words to appear right here as well. In addition to that, if I wanted to edit just this one, I can click on it and click edit, and I can change that specific one, hyperlink things, bold them, or italicize. Okay, if you're stuck in the styles, you can always hit back. That was the customize button, and try different things till you get yours looking the way that you like. So I'll give you a minute to play with that, and then we'll go on. So when you're done, we're gonna go ahead and go back to storyline here, and that's gonna take us back to our editing mode. So now I think we're ready to add more information. So make sure this is collapsed because we want to keep everything organized, and we're going to add another header so that we get another little box to put information in. So go ahead and hit the plus, and we're going to click on heading 1, and that's going to add a new section. This time we're just going to simply add text and a picture. So here I would write a paragraph about me. And of course, I would actually write a paragraph telling the kids all about me and my family and things that I like. And then I'm going to add an image of myself right here. So this time I'm going to upload an image from my computer instead of doing an internet search. So I'm going to come up here, instead of going to the suggested search bar, I'm going to come over here and upload from my device. So again, I click the little down arrow by suggested, and I'm going to click upload from my device. This is going to give me access to my files. And I think I'm going to put a little Bitmoji of me in there. Now, sometimes when you go to play the images, it will cut off part of your picture. So I'm going to show you how to keep that from happening. Back to edit mode. So if you want it to not cut off your picture, you can click this little button right here that says focus points. So when I click focus points, I'm going to see my image here. If I want them to see my entire image, I can just check this box and it's going to zoom out and show my entire image. If I want it to just show a specific part of my image, I can click where I want it to start, and then I can go down and choose the parts I want it to show. So if I just wanted to show the top half of my Bitmoji, I can do that and it'll focus on that part. So now when I hit play, it shows that part that I selected. Sway in Google. I know you can create it in Sway and then you can embed it.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I'm looking at Google right now because we're kind of a Google Suites environment, whereas you guys are Microsoft. But Sway is very cool.
It is.
But there is something called key points that I'll open up and play with a little bit to see if it's similar. But I really like this way. It's very smooth too. It's easy to use. I can see how kids can just like structure their presentation really quickly.
Absolutely. And the best part is it does all the decorating for you, so you don't have to spend all that time making it pretty.
Yeah. And it's nice and organized, you know, and you can create those images really quickly. I love it. Yeah, saves a lot of time. Very cool.
And I had my students one year, I made student news. And so I had them make a Sway to basically make a library of all their YouTube videos from the news for the year. And so you could go in and you could go down this way and see like a showcase of everything they had created all year. It was pretty cool.
Well, and that's exactly where I was going with that is this would be the perfect place to platform their portfolios, student portfolios moving forward over the years. So yeah, great idea.
Yeah, and also like, I don't know if you're familiar with GLAD strategies, but I would use this as like my unit overview, my compendium of everything I was gonna teach, and let the students kind of do a gallery walk and see everything they were about to learn about on their own before we even got started through SWREC. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with it. We'll go over that later. All right, so I'm gonna now show you how to add a video to your SWREC. So again, we're gonna hit the insert content. I am done with my paragraph about me, so I'm gonna go ahead and add another header. So it makes this next section. And this time I'm gonna make my video about the school I worked in last. And so if I was making this for my students, I would have this video showing them about our school. And so after you get your title done, click the plus again. We're going to go back to that media tab, and this time we're going to choose a video. So it automatically pops this back up. Now, I don't want to just do an internet search for a video. I actually want to search YouTube. So I'm going to click where it says suggested, and I'm going to go down to YouTube. And then I can actually search for my school that I was at. And you can see my internet says I'm going to be slow now.
Amber,
Yes.
I do apologize, but I have a webinar training that I've committed myself to go to at 4.
Okay, no worries.
Has a certificate and all that serious stuff. So I am hopping off, but thank you so much for your time in doing this. And Christine and Daniel, thank you so much. I can't wait to see the finished recorded session.
Thanks for joining in, and we will talk on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Christine. Bye.
Bye.
Let's try that again. I refreshed it because it froze on me. There it goes. So this is the video that I made and I want to insert. So I'm going to click on that, and you can actually search, like if you have the link already, you can just pop that in and that video will pop up as well. So I'm going to add that video. And I'm just going to quick show you a preview of where we're at. And so here's my video, and it's leaving room right now in case I add more because it's in its own section, but they can actually click and it'll start that video right there inside this way. Doesn't take them out to YouTube at all. Okay. So now that I have my video, let me show you how to add a picture group. So I know you saw in the demo that we were able to stack pictures and they can click on them and it goes to the next picture. So again, I'm going to collapse this and click my plus. I'm going to add a new heading. It's good to do that just so you have your titles and everything is organized. And I'm going to put pictures of things I love. And this time I'm going to click the plus. And instead of just choosing image like I did before, I'm going to actually come over here and click group. So I create a group of things so I can have those pictures in a group. From here, you have different options. So automatic will just put them in a row. Grid, of course, put them in a grid. Comparison will put them side by side. Stack stacks them one on top of each other. And slideshow puts them in a little box with the preview underneath. And the main reason I would be careful choosing these is because if you stack them, if you stack them and you have captions next to the picture, it will not show your captions. But if you put them automatic, then it will show your picture with the caption. So it depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose stack. And I'm going to go ahead and add some pictures. So you can click add image and you can, again, click this, go back to suggested, click back on images, and we can search for a picture. And I can add them in one at a time. the same way I did before. However, if you want to save some time and you want to add multiple pictures, you can click upload. So again, I know I did that fast, so I'm gonna come up here, upload right here. And I can actually select multiple pictures. And you can click and drag or just click the little check boxes and I can add all of those in. And it's going to add them into my group. Oh, I accidentally added that docx. So that Word doc worksheet that I had earlier, it actually put in all the things from that Word doc. So if I want to delete things, that's a good chance to talk about how do we delete things if we mess up. You can actually just click on your header, hit delete, and it's going to delete everything in that section. Hit the little trash can, and it'll delete everything in that little section. So that's super easy. All right. And we can go back and get that last picture. And if you mess up and you want to undo something, you can always click undo. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So I'm going to come down here and you can see my pictures are stacked. So when I click on one, it goes to the next. So if I decided I didn't like the way that looks, I can still change that. So I can collapse that block and right here I can change my group type. So I can click group type and then I can choose how I want it to look instead. Maybe I want them to be a grid instead. So I can come over here and now they're a grid. All right. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover, I've showed you how to change your design. I've showed you how to do a preview, search for things, insert things, all the different ways to insert. I didn't go over these three, but you can play with that. Maybe that could be for later training. I showed you how to make different groups with headers and how to add a variety of media. And so the last thing I want to show you is how to share this with your students. So up here in the top right is a share button. And when students get this, they're going to see this version. They're not going to see your edited version. So whatever you have here is what they will see. So when you click share, you have some different options. So if you want to share with just one or two students, maybe you did some differentiation and you want them to have access to this to get that advanced learning, you can put share with specific people and you can enter their email addresses here. If you want to share it with only those people that are logged in at your school, so if you have all your students logged into Office and they all are in their own accounts, then I would choose this one. It's more secure and outside entities cannot see it. However, if you want anyone to see it, maybe you have an All About Me, you want to put it on your website for parents to view, I would choose anyone with a link. So you want to make sure you have that they can only view and not edit. If you have it on edit, they will be able to make changes. So we want to make sure that they can view only. Edit would be used more if you had a group of students that were working on a research project together and you wanted them all to be able to add things to the SWREC, then you would give them editing rights. But for this, we're going to click view. Okay, from here you have two options. You can copy the link or you can get the embed code. And you actually have more options, but for the classroom, those are the two you're going to use the most. So if you copy the link, then you can put that link on your website. They can click on it and it will take them to your SWREC. If you choose to embed it, they will actually get a preview of this directly on their assignment or on the page that you put it on. You can embed it into websites, into Canvas, different things. And you can also require a password if you want to. So if you want to make it to where anyone with the link can view but require a password, you can. And then if you mess up and want to reset your settings, you can do that here. So I'm going to go ahead, anyone with the link can view, and I'm going to copy that. And then I could go put that into any format that I want or any website that I want. So I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to show you the difference between embedding. So if I did anyone with a link and I got the embed code, I could then copy that code and then I could go to my page and go where I can insert the code, simply paste it in, and then it'll be embedded into the assignment, and this is how the students will see it. It'll be right there in the assignment for them to view and explore. Right. So there are tons of ways to use SWREC in the classroom. One is, like April was saying earlier, you could use it as a digital portfolio. Students can put all their work throughout the year and parents can come in and see all of the things that they have done. Students can share their work with peers in a virtual show and tell style gallery walk, so they can go to each other's pages and explore what their peers have learned. You can have your students import graphs, charts, images from their latest lab, and then have them enter written responses below, or you can have them, started automatically. Or you can have them create a digital history representation researching a topic and adding appropriate images. For ELA, you can use it to illustrate text that you're reading or bring in articles to compare with text that you're reading. So you can compare that article to the novel and maybe even have the video and compare all of those things. You can also import passages from a short story, novel, or play, and then include images and videos to go along with it as a support. And there's just tons of ways. You can use this to differentiate your instruction. You can ask those questions. How can we make our content more advanced for students who already know it? And we can insert those things into our SWREC. And we can have some other like supporting material that students might need that need extra support. We can have that in there. There's just so many ways to use SWREC. And so in this video, I have a teacher that uses SWREC every day, and they have their detailed lesson plans in their SWREC so that students can access all of the material. So I'm going to take a second and show you this video. And I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's kind of, well, we have time. Just play it.
The purpose of this video is to show off Microsoft SWREC and just give you a bit of a preview of some of the capabilities. This is my SWREC library, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of different SWRECs here. And these are really different units and different resources I've used for different classes. Some of them I've used for meetings. It's got a lot of different uses, but I'm going to keep the focus today very much around education. So I want to show you one of these SWRECs and just show you what the features look like so you can get a bit of a sense about how I use it with my students. So I'm going to look at this one here, which is for my Year 12 English class. And this is a SWREC on the unit of creating texts. Now, something I discovered quite quickly when I first started using SWREC, I had this idea that I was going to do one for every lesson. But then I realized, I'd have a lot of separate SWRECs. So instead, what I decided is that I would make one SWREC and I would just keep adding content to it. And as you can see, the way I break it up is I put a little date tag here that just says what we did on that day. Now, the important thing to really keep in mind is that I did not do all of this in one go. Okay, I didn't sit down and kind of plan out my whole thing. I wish I was that organized. Sadly, I'm not. What I did though was often before each lesson, I would sit down and say to myself, now what do I want to get across today? And then I would put the content I want in front of me. The other thing that I did retrospectively is when I taught the lesson, I usually have my iPad with me, so I got in the habit of recording, doing an audio recording of my lessons, and you can see these here. I've just dragged on the audio file, the MP3, and it's set it up with its own player. So that was a really easy drag and drop, but it means that the students can relive the magic of my classes, as I'm sure you can imagine, and they can listen to everything I say. They can hear me explaining things in more detail. So I break it up so they're usually about 5-minute audio files. But let me give you the tour. So creating texts is actually a unit in Year 12 English where they have to create 3 separate assignments. Okay, they create a magazine article, they create a video blog, and they create a writer's statement that compares the two. So as I go down, you'll see me move and transition through those sections. So starting off, we were talking about conventions. What makes a magazine? What is it? One of the first activities I did was to make them look at magazine covers. So I put all of these images here, I just got these off the net, and I had them look at them and discuss them. Okay, here's the audio of the class discussion of that conversation. Okay, then we looked at the inside, the layout, the text, the font, the conventions of that, and here's the audio discussion of the class thinking about that. So if you were away, you can catch it up. So now we're going to the next lesson. So you notice that the date comes up and the days for the student to follow. I started getting them looking at more conventions. So here I've got a bit of information, but I started putting in links to websites that would help. So before the lesson, I did a bit of Googling and a bit of internet browsing, and I found this website, which was about the features of a magazine. So with a click, they could get to a website I wanted, but it's all in that one place. And again, more audio files. On my next lesson, I ran a PowerPoint presentation where I talked to the class about features of language, and I've embedded that. So I made this in Microsoft PowerPoint, and I've embedded it in my SWREC, and the students could click through it as I was going through, so they could look at the slides. They had this in front of them, but they can also go back and have a look at that information, and there's also an audio file of me talking through that. Okay, so they can do that. I did an activity where I put them into 4 groups, and I wanted to give each group a different piece of information in order to do the activity. So you notice, depending on your group number, you had a different link, and this link takes you to a Word document, which is part of our class SharePoint, which told them what they needed to do. So in that case, I put a link to a specific document. So it's not a website link, it's a document link. Going through further, I gave them lots of questions and discussions to think about, and often these were activities, or sometimes I'd say, look, there's more on the SWREC to promote your thinking about this. So again, it's somewhere that they can go if they're stuck. Lots of specialist terms being defined and explained there for them. I interviewed a student who works in the industry, the magazine industry. So I dragged this video. So this isn't a YouTube clip or anything. This was just a video I had sitting on my desktop, and I dragged that MP4 straight on there, and it just embedded itself into the SWREC. Okay, so that's a great feature. In order to support my students with their assignments, I actually created my own version of their assignment. So in this case, what they had to do was they had to find a magazine, pick an article from it, and then kind of emulate the language and the style and the design. So you can see this was the article I picked, and here was the result that I made. And that was a great resource for them as well, particularly being able to see them in comparison to one another. As I go further down, now we're up to the new assessment, which was video blogs. Now, my students didn't really know what a video blog was, or they weren't quite sure what the conventions were, so I went onto YouTube, and I found a whole bunch of them here. So these are links to separate YouTube videos, and I've just clustered them all together. So just from a glance, they might see what they're interested in and being able to click it, and it also allows them to link it to YouTube if they want to see it on a bigger screen. As I go down, similar to before, I made my own example of a blog. So again, I had a video file on my desktop as a result, and I just dragged it into SWREC, and it uploaded itself. So that's a secure video that's available. As I go down further, again, more audio files, more lessons, more notes. So hopefully you just get a bit of an idea that as we're going down, there's a lot of content, and I'm communicating with my students in a lot of different ways. Okay. Whenever I'm teaching, I have this up, so I'm scrolling down as I'm teaching. This was a table that I made in PowerPoint, and and then transferred it across. So I've embedded a table into my piece. So again, just another way to communicate. But as I was saying, I have this up, and I just let so the students can browse through it as I'm speaking. But as well as that, I've set it up so it actually functions without me. Now, just another interesting feature is I've also embedded here, this is what's called a Microsoft Forms. So after looking at all of this stuff, this was to do with their writer's statement, we were talking about what is and is not relevant to put into your piece. So I made a quiz for them on Microsoft Forms, and I've embedded that quiz into this SWREC. So it goes through, they can read these examples, they can do it, and it'll give them a point score once they submit it to tell them how well their understanding is progressing. Okay, and as I go down further, again, more information about structure, language to use. Look, hopefully if you've got anything from this, it's just the fact that there is a whole bunch of information that I've given my class but the fact that I've been able to put it all together into one spot really helps them, because it means that they can see sequentially how I've covered the content, but it also really helps me to organize my thoughts and make sure that I'm giving really clear and directed resources to support their learning. So hopefully seeing this action maybe gives you some ideas about some of the stuff that SWREC can do and how you can use it in a classroom.
Awesome. Okay. So I want to go back. All right. So we might talk about in a future Tech Bites about how to embed other things like PowerPoint and Microsoft Forms into SWAY. But for now, this is my contact information. If you all have any questions, ideas, or just need inspiration, feel free to email me or give me a call, and hopefully we can get those answered for you. And that's all I have, Christine. So
great.
Show them our website.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I am excited to, my gears are turning already, trying to decide what I wanted to make a SWAY out of and how I could incorporate that as well. All right, I am going to attempt to share my screen. I've had some issues today with trying to do that, so let me see if I can try to share my screen. And let's see. All right, have I been successful or not?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, so this is the Southwest REC homepage, and from the homepage, there is a link straight from here on our graphics. It is a rotating banner. If you come to the Tech Bites, you can click on it here. You can go to our departments and go to our Technology Services department, several ways that you can get to our Tech Bites page. And from our Tech Bites page, you will see that there are different sessions. We have our the bi-monthly, which you are in right now. You also have a lunch and learn, which is a very quick, down and dirty topic that you can cover just as you're grabbing your lunch, is the idea. We also are joining together this year and collaborating with Region 9, and that way we can offer multiple trainings for viewers to be able to have Google and Microsoft trainings, as well as many other things that we can incorporate so that you have the best of all the different technologies to enhance your classroom experience. You do have the calendar of events here on the side, as well as on our calendar to see future events. And let me just go ahead and click on here so that you can get an idea of what this looks like. And so here is the most current updated things that are coming up in the next month or so that you can get an idea and register for either REC 9s or Southwest REC's Tech Bites or Tech Bits. You can go to archives from here, or you can go to the YouTube where there are previous sessions will be housed. And so you can get all of that information and be able to sign up for these different sessions. If you click on future topics, you're going to see all of the different presentations that are going to be coming for the year. And so we have a lot of information that is coming, and it's very exciting to be able to offer this in collaboration with REC 9. So we hope that you'll join us again. And if there are no further questions, then we are ready to call it a day. Let me see if I can attempt to quit sharing my screen. Too many monitors and not enough screen control. So it's minimized, and I'm having a little issue there. There we go. All right, so we want to thank everyone for watching this session, and we hope that you have taken something from this, and we hope that you'll join us again real soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.